How to map your e-bike route before arriving in a new city, Senior E-Biker's Guide. Introduction. Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new here, I'm Dave, a senior adventurer who combines my love for e-biking with house and pet sitting across the US through trusted house sitters. Traveling with my folding e-bike has been an incredible way to explore new cities while staying active and saving money. Whenever I head to a new city, I make sure to plan my e-bike routes in advance to ensure a smooth, safe, and enjoyable ride. In this video, I'll show you exactly how I map out my routes before arriving in a new place, so you can do the same and make the most of your adventures. Let's dive in. Step 1. Research the area. Planning a successful e-bike adventure starts with researching the area you'll be visiting. Understanding the city's layout, bike-friendly roads, and scenic areas can make all the difference in having a safe and enjoyable ride. One of my go-to tools is Google Maps. Let's take a quick look at how I use it. I start by searching for bike routes near city to get an overview of the area. Google Maps allows you to toggle on the cycling layer, which highlights bike lanes, trails, and paths. This feature is super helpful for finding routes that are both safe and efficient. If you're heading to a more bike-friendly city, they may have dedicated apps or websites with even more detailed biking information. Some cities offer downloadable bike maps, and others list trails or scenic parks perfect for riding. I also like to pinpoint key stops, like local parks, waterfronts, and bike shops in case I need assistance or a quick tune-up. Doing this research ensures you'll know exactly where to ride and what to expect before you even arrive. Step 2. Choose your route. Factors to consider when choosing your route. Once you've done your initial research, it's time to narrow down your route based on a few key factors. For me, the most important considerations are distance, terrain, safety, and the purpose of the ride. I like to plan rides that match my comfort level and energy for the day. For longer trips, I always factor in brakes and make sure I'm not pushing myself too hard. I also check for hills or flat terrain. Flat rides are ideal for me, but if there's a scenic route with a few hills, I might go for it, especially if it's worth the view. Safety always comes first, so I look for routes with dedicated bike lanes, quiet streets, or paths away from heavy traffic. It makes the ride more enjoyable and less stressful. Depending on my purpose, sometimes I'm just exploring and want a scenic ride through parks, waterfronts, or historical areas. Other times, I'm riding for practical purposes, like heading to a grocery store or cafe. Let me show you how I use tools like Google Maps and Komoot to plot my route. On Google Maps, I toggle the cycling layer and pick a route that includes bike lanes or trails. You can adjust the start and end points and even add stops if you want to explore multiple places. Komoot and Ride with GPS are great for more detailed route planning. Komoot, for example, highlights terrain difficulty and points of interest, while Ride with GPS lets you customize routes and even download them for offline navigation. If I'm aiming for a leisurely or scenic ride, I adjust the route to pass through parks, along the waterfront, or through shaded greenways. If I want something quick and practical, I stick to shorter, direct routes but still prioritize bike lanes. By considering these factors and using the right tools, you'll ensure every ride is both safe and enjoyable. Adapting routes for weather and time of day. When planning your e-bike ride, it's important to consider the weather and time of day to make the experience more comfortable and safe. On hot or sunny days, I plan routes with shaded paths, like tree-lined streets or parks, and I schedule my ride for early morning or late afternoon to avoid the midday heat. If there's a chance of rain, I check the forecast and try to stick closer to covered areas or plan shorter routes. I always have a rain jacket or poncho with me, just in case. On windy days, I aim for routes that are more sheltered, like neighborhoods or areas surrounded by buildings or trees, which can block the wind. For rides in the early morning or late evening, I make sure my bike lights are charged and my reflective gear is ready. It's also smart to avoid poorly lit areas at night. During peak traffic hours, I avoid main roads and instead look for quieter streets or bike paths. Apps like Komoot or Google Maps can help find those routes. If you're riding in a popular area, consider timing your ride to avoid crowds, especially if you're visiting parks or trails. For example, if it's going to be a hot day and I'm riding in a city like Palm Coast, Florida, I'll plan my route to include shaded trails near the Intracoastal Waterway and schedule my ride early in the morning. This way, I stay cool, enjoy the peaceful scenery, and avoid traffic. By adjusting for weather and time of day, you can make your ride safer, more enjoyable, and tailored to your needs. Step 3. Check for charging stations. As a senior e-bike rider, one of my top priorities is ensuring I don't run out of battery mid-ride. Properly planning for charging can save you from stress and keep your adventures enjoyable. To start, I use apps or websites to locate e-bike charging stations along my route. Apps like PlugShare or ChargeMap are great for finding nearby power outlets or charging points specifically for e-bikes. These tools often show user reviews and photos, so you know exactly what to expect when you get there. If there aren't dedicated charging stations nearby, I check for alternative options like bike shops, cafes, or public parks with accessible power outlets. Many cafes are bike-friendly and happy to let you charge your battery while you grab a coffee or snack. Another key tip is to always bring a second, fully charged battery with you. Having a spare battery can instantly double your riding range and gives you peace of mind on longer rides. I usually pack my second battery in a pannier bag or backpack. It's an absolute lifesaver when exploring new areas. For example, if I'm riding in a city like Palm Coast, Florida, I'll research charging spots along scenic trails or near key stops like parks or restaurants. That way, even if I decide to extend my ride or take a detour, I know I'll have enough power to get back safely. By planning your charging strategy ahead of time, you can focus on enjoying the ride instead of worrying about your battery life. Tips for managing battery usage during the ride. Planning for charging is important, but managing your battery during the ride can also help you maximize your e-bike's range. Here are some simple tips to stretch your battery life. I recommend starting in eco mode or the lowest assist setting when you're on flat terrain or just cruising. Save the higher assist levels for hills or when you really need a boost. This helps conserve power while still allowing you to enjoy a smooth ride. Try to pedal consistently instead of relying heavily on the motor. By doing more of the work yourself, you'll conserve your battery for when it's really needed. Rapid starts or hard acceleration can drain your battery quickly, so it's better to build up speed gradually and maintain a steady pace throughout your ride. This will keep your battery running longer and save you from unexpected power shortages. Riding against the wind can use up more battery power. If you know it'll be windy, try to plan a route that's more sheltered or use lower assist settings to conserve power. Keep an eye on your battery indicator to make sure you're not caught off guard. Most e-bikes have a display that shows battery life, and some even estimate the range you have left based on the assist level you're using. Lastly, travel light. The heavier your load, the harder your motor has to work. Packing light reduces the strain on your battery, improving efficiency and helping you get the most out of your ride. By combining these strategies with a good charging plan, you'll ensure your battery lasts longer and you get the most out of every ride. Step 4. Download offline maps. One of the most important steps in planning a ride, especially as a senior rider, is downloading offline maps. Mobile service isn't always reliable, especially if you're exploring rural areas, trails, or parks. Having offline maps ensures you won't get lost, even when your phone loses signal. Apps like Komoot or Ride with GPS are great for offline navigation. Let me show you how easy it is to download a map. With Komoot, after planning your route, you simply tap the Download for Offline Use option. This saves the map and turn-by-turn directions directly to your phone. You'll even get voice navigation to guide you without needing a signal. Using Ride with GPS is similar. After planning your route, select Download Map to save it offline. This app also lets you see elevation changes and other key details about your ride, even without internet access. Google Maps is another great option. Simply go to the area you want to ride in, tap your profile picture, select Offline Maps, and choose Select Your Own Map to download the region. Offline maps are especially helpful for senior riders because they reduce the stress of navigating unfamiliar areas. Turn-by-turn navigation ensures you can focus on enjoying the ride instead of constantly checking your phone for directions. By taking this step, you're setting yourself up for a smooth and stress-free e-bike adventure, no matter where your travels take you. Step 5. Plan for pit stops. Taking breaks is essential, especially for senior riders like myself. It's important to plan your route with regular stops so you can recharge, hydrate, and enjoy your surroundings. Whether it's to take a breather or explore, pit stops can make the ride much more enjoyable. When planning my route, I always look for coffee shops, parks, or scenic viewpoints where I can relax. These places give me a chance to stretch, grab a drink, and enjoy the local atmosphere. I also like to include parks or benches along the way, where I can take a rest and enjoy some quiet time before continuing. For example, when I was house sitting in Palm Coast, Florida, I planned my route so that I could stop at a beautiful park along the Intracoastal Waterway. It was the perfect place to enjoy the views and rest in the shade, especially on a warm day. During this break, I was able to take a moment to reflect on the journey and make sure I was feeling good before continuing. Planning these little breaks is a great way to keep your energy up and ensure you're not overdoing it. Plus, these stops often lead to discovering hidden gems, whether it's a local cafe or a peaceful garden that you might have missed if you didn't take the time to stop. By planning for pit stops, you'll make your ride much more comfortable and give yourself plenty of time to enjoy the sights and sounds of each new place. Step 6. Final check. Before setting off on your e-bike adventure, it's essential to do a quick final check to ensure everything's in order. Here's a checklist to make sure you're fully prepared for a smooth ride. First, check the weather forecast. Always check for any changes in temperature, rain, or wind, so you can adjust your plans or gear accordingly. The last thing you want is to be caught unprepared for unexpected weather. Next, do a thorough e-bike check. Make sure your tires are properly inflated to the recommended pressure. Low tire pressure can make pedaling harder and drain your battery faster. Double check that your battery is fully charged and properly secured on your bike. And don't forget to bring your charger, especially if you plan to stop somewhere with an outlet. Gear and accessories are just as important. Make sure you've got your helmet, gloves, or knee pads for comfort and safety. Also, pack a locking system to keep your bike secure when you stop at cafes or parks. I also like to bring snacks or a water bottle to keep my energy up during longer rides. Finally, make sure you've downloaded offline maps or have a printed map handy, so you're never lost. It's always better to be prepared, especially when exploring new areas. By taking these extra steps, you'll ensure your e-bike adventure goes off without a hitch, and you'll be ready for whatever comes your way. I always check my tire pressure, make sure I have a backup battery, and bring a small first aid kit, just in case. Conclusion. To recap, mapping out your e-bike route involves several key steps: researching the area, considering the terrain and distance, checking for charging stations, downloading offline maps, planning for breaks, and doing a final check before heading out. With a little preparation, you can ensure a safe and enjoyable ride every time. As a senior e-biker and house sitter, I've learned to trust my instincts and stay flexible with my plans. Some of the best parts of my journeys have come from unexpected detours or stopping to chat with locals. Remember, it's not just about the destination, it's about enjoying the ride and embracing the adventure along the way. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll be sharing more tips on e-biking and house sitting soon, so stay tuned for future adventures. Optional, highlighting a specific route. Before we wrap up, I want to share a special route I mapped out during one of my recent house-sitting experiences. I was in Palm Coast, Florida, caring for a lovely dog named Millie. I planned a scenic route along the Intracoastal Waterway, which offered beautiful views of the water and plenty of shady spots to rest. Along the way, I made stops at a couple of local parks, took in the peaceful scenery, and even found a great coffee shop to recharge. The best part was when Millie joined me for a short walk at one of the parks. It was the perfect break for both of us. Let me show you some footage from that ride. You'll see the route I took, the sights I enjoyed, and of course, Millie making her cameo. It was one of those days where everything just came together, and I'm excited to share it with you. I hope this video inspired you to map out your next e-bike adventure, whether you're house sitting, traveling, or just exploring your own neighborhood. Remember, it's all about enjoying the journey and making the most of every moment.
I'll take you anywhere, just tell me I'll be there. We don't need a plan, I like it unprepared. Whatever comes our way, we'll stay there for the day. So dream away. My vision, I won't curve. Just tell me I'll be there. We don't need a plan, I like it unprepared. Whatever comes our way, we'll stay there for the day. So dream, dream away.